Hey everyone, this is Stephanie O'Brien, founder of Coach Client Connection. I'm here today with Chew-Hoong Koh, and today we're going to be talking about how you can defeat procrastination so you can stop feeling stuck, stop wasting time, stop reaching the end of the day frustrated because you didn't get everything done, and start feeling more productive, more confident, and having more success in your business. So thank you very much for joining me.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate your inviting me, and I'm glad I'm going to come hang out with you even while I'm at the beach. At heart, I'm an island girl because I grew up in an island, and
Oh,
so it's
cool.
nice to go hang out there.
I hope you're having a great time. So, yeah, for those listening, I just want to tell you a little bit about Chew-Hoong. So, she was once the self-proclaimed queen of procrastination. Sorry, the tongue is tired here, my tongue is tripping, but yeah, she was once the self-proclaimed queen of procrastination. But now she is both grateful and empowered to have shed that crown for good. For over 10 years, procrastination and feeling not good enough had kept her invisible and in a failing business. But courageous transformation is proof that success is possible. As a business and mindset catalyst, Chew-Hoong empowers coaches to break free of their self-imposed limits and magnetize their ideal clients while increasing their visibility and impact authentically. So I'm really glad to have her here. So the first question I wanted to ask was, during our earlier chat, you mentioned that there was a stuck cycle that makes people keep on procrastinating even when they have other anti-procrastination tools in place. So I could see that as being especially applicable for the people in my audience who are, coaches who are trying to create their coaching programs, and that's of course a big task that you really don't want to be procrastinating on or getting stuck on. So yeah, could you share a bit more about what this stuck cycle is and how people or why people have such a hard time breaking out of it?
Yeah, if you hear yourself saying or thinking or saying, "Oh my gosh, I'm so stuck," I'm going to invite you to take it from the big general, in general, it's the stuck, to understand a bit, well, what are you stuck about? No, so you can, when you able to put your arms around it, and then it can potentially be more manageable, right? So, and you can then look for solutions and all that. So stuck cycle, the way it shows up, people will say, procrastination is a big one. I know I'm procrastination. I cannot do stuff. Okay, great. Now you know you're stuck, and because you're procrastinating. Let me then ask, what is causing this procrastination? Because underlying procrastination, there are different things that cause you to procrastinate. And one of the things could be overthinking. So many things to think about. Should I do this? Should I do that? Then you get overwhelmed, right? And then if you have perfectionism tendencies, oh my gosh, what happens then? You never even get out to that's why that can happen. Perfectionism can be good in some things. I've realized that, oh my gosh, I could own that. I have certain perfectionism traits, which is great, especially when I'm analyzing data. I have to do with numbers because, you got to, especially if
Definitely
you
want to get
do,
that right.
right, especially the IRS, right? You better get your numbers
Oh,
right.
yeah. Yeah, I don't need
So
their microscope up your butt.
exactly. So some things is good for, so you want to celebrate that part, of perfectionism. However, if perfectionism is keeping you, not even getting out of the start of goal, then, we have challenges, right? And you can get that, you know, in your journey as a entrepreneur, and that's okay, right? And I'm going to tell you the secret that when you uh get out of your comfort zone in whatever you're doing, like if you never create a course, of course you're going to start, wondering what I'm going to do, da da da, and then suddenly it's become like, I can't do it, right? And then before you know it, the stuckness is not just days, but it's years. Even though we have Stephanie, you're amazing to have a conversation with to try to figure at least how to get out on the first go. So there's that overwhelm, overthinking, and there's also another part around around feeling not good enough. Those are the emotions. Procrastination, you even mentioned it. It's procrastination. We all think of it time management. Well, why don't you manage your time better, right? You think that will resolve it. That's okay. However, if you're in a pattern of long procrastination, then it's not a time management issue. It's an emotion-based issue. And emotion could be tied to, usually the inner part of you. And so you got to be willing, open to look at that.
So, what are some ways people can look at that? Because now, for people who aren't really accustomed to introspection and to self-analysis, just looking at that or figuring out why they're stuck, that self-analysis and figuring out why they feel that way or why they're staying stuck or why they're procrastinating can be really hard. So, do you have any really specific actionable exercises they can use for this self-diagnosis?
Sure, you can do this. You can first ask, okay, what do I want? Right? You say, I want to have a course. Well, let me see this. Okay, I'll do this because one of my clients do this. I say, I want to have ten clients every month, people to attract that. Okay, then if you want to have that, how would that make you feel? You got to know how that make you feel. If you're not excited about it, that's really not what you
Mhm.
really want. So that, I say, well, I feel so happy. I feel that, that I can help so many people because that's what my mission is. And then I also will make good money because then I'll be able to take care, have some fun trips and do stuff with my family, right? Isn't that good?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So yeah, I feel happy. I feel excited, elated, when I have these clients. And then, okay, if you're not getting that now, what is it that you need to honor within yourself that you're not honoring now?
So,
This
could you
then
give
asks,
examples of what they might need
an
to honor in
example could be
themselves?
that. And some of the things I say, well, I got to honor that I am good enough, right? Some of the and why is that important? Or because if you don't feel good enough, even though you get those clients, there's that part of you that's fearful. Can I deliver?
Mhm.
Can I do what I say I'm going to do? Because that's internal. And so it's interesting, right? And that was what happened to me. I stayed invisible. People tell me, "Oh my gosh, you're so brilliant, you're such great wisdom." I say, "Yeah, however, I wasn't able to receive that because there's a part of me that says I'm still not good enough because of my upbringing and whatever is happening within that, an emotional basis." Because one of the things is that I remember there's twice in grow at school when I was 5 and when I was 8 was I was a very mischievous kid anyway. And so sometimes twice I was pulled in front of the whole classroom.
Oh.
Think of me, little me, and big size teacher saying, you know, why are you so misbehaving? Who do you think you are? Why don't you sit at your table, just be quiet. Imagine that.
Mm.
Yeah. So, yeah, we talk about big traumas, right? I didn't think those were traumatic stuff because to me, big trauma is a big trauma, victim and rape and all that abuse. However, I want to, these are the insidious one, if any of you have this, because some cultures, it's okay to do that. I was spanked. I was, by my father. I was in front of class. I rulers, another hit. And to me, it's like, well, teachers do it, so it should be okay. But really, there's a part of me that was hurting and also taking on, I'm not good enough. And
And
so, yeah,
it's kind of scary how easy it is for kids to draw big, sweeping conclusions from even things that adults would think are fairly minor that they'd forget, the adults would forget the next day, but the kid, they're still learning so fast and extrapolating so much from every bit of data. They can take a little bit of data and build a whole world view out of it.
right. Because they're very innocent, right? Kids are like they take on. They take on, especially if the adults in their lives are supposed to be caring for them. In school, what are the teachers? They're supposed to be the ones to support you, to supposed to help you through your learnings and everything. When they do that, what happens? And then and you can play it out even in adult life. And for me, adult life, I found that I had a hard time relating with people in authority because guess what? The people in authority was shaming me, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I can see
So
that would make some distrust.
yeah, yeah. And to be visible out suddenly as an entrepreneur, wow. What's going to someone say? What is someone's, spam me and all that? Oh my God, my head was going over thinking. And so what I do, I couldn't be out there.
So, if somebody has those feelings of low self-worth, what are some steps they can take to overcome that?
I would say the first thing if you're in that is first, you got to be self-compassion. You got to have that. Nobody can give it to you. This is something you have to give to yourself. And for the longest time, I actually, and because I beat myself so much, it was so hard on myself. It's like I was asked to do this, a mirror exercise. Look at yourself in the mirror. Just look and be there. Just be with yourself. I had a hard time. I never, when I'm brushing my teeth, I'm like, done, right? But to stay there and stand there and just look at myself, it's like, wow, who's this person? So I just learned because it was important to me. And one of the things I did was that um, I had to make peace with all my regrets. All the times when I didn't show up for me, show up for other people, and all that, and to the point where I wanted to make a meaningful difference, and I couldn't. I spend money, on the how-tos to do it, and put myself in a financially challenging situation. I had to own up to it, be responsibly, choose. And when I'm in front of a mirror, I'm inviting people to do that. If you don't feel good about yourself, you don't feel loved for yourself, I would say I sing this song to myself. I look at the mirror, I'll say to the person that you are beautiful. You are wonderful. I open up my heart to receive you in. You are beautiful the way you are. And then I would sing to myself, I am beautiful. I am wonderful. I open up my heart to receive me in. I am beautiful the way I am. Yeah.
That sounds like it could be a good start for a lot of people, though I know I've talked to some people who they felt like, if they said an affirmation that they didn't already believe, they felt like they were lying to themselves. Their brain actually shut down this new concept harder than ever. So do you ever have clients like that who, when they try to do affirmations, their brains scream liar, it actually make them more resistant to the affirmation and the message with it?
Yeah, I'm glad you bring this up because there was that. Even when I was saying that, and I said, "That's just a part." I said, "Are you beautiful? You're not." Blah 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 blah. And so I learned about this called progressive affirmation. So if you cannot stand firmly and say that I am beautiful, or I am worthy, I'm good enough, then open yourself to this. Wouldn't it wouldn't it be lovely if I am good enough, or I'm allow myself to consider that I'm good enough. And then don't stop there. Then you find the evidence, find the answers. Where are you being good enough? Even little things, doesn't have to be big.
I like that, taking baby steps. If you can't take the entire staircase in one jump, you take the baby steps and get up one
Yeah,
step at a time.
yeah. So this is how it could be a progressive. Wouldn't it be lovely? I am open to, I am beginning to. And as you step through that, you affirm, I am beautiful the way I am. It's a journey. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, if somebody wanted to, take more of that journey with you, if they wanted to say book a call with you or have an email discussion because they've taken that first few steps, but they can't get the whole journey on their own, what would be the best way for them to get in touch with you?
Well, I have a few things. One of them is definitely um, I have a gift for everybody, and with procrastinators, you got to take a little action to show it because I could say call me, but But here's an action step. Is to one of the things. At least if you're not a good writer, you want to write an email or something, say, okay, what I'm going to write about, so many things get overwhelmed, right? I have this what we call 42 viral hooks and captions ideas of things you can talk about. that will draw people to get to know you more because what it's about is about building relationship, right? And so this is a gift. There are 42 of them, 32 of them, so plenty for you to kickstart it. And when you sign into that, you'll be connected with me. And then then we will share more and support you in this journey. And so I hope this is helpful. And another thing is that I want you to say to yourself right now, if you're procrastinating a lot, is to say, I am, not to say, I am a procrastinator, because you identify yourself, you're a procrastinator. And then what happens? Oh, yeah, I'm a procrastinator.
Yeah, the
But
brain is so jealous about defending its own self-image, even if that self-image is negative.
right. So be careful what you put after the word I am. So in this case, I invite you to say that, I'm doing the procrastinating thing for right now. It's important to put anything you don't want to stick to you, put the word for right now, because it's just for right now. It's not a forever thing. You see that?
I like
Yeah.
that shift. Yeah, it's subtle but powerful.
Yeah. Or another thing would be playful is, oh, look at that. Penelope procrastinator is showing up now. And when it shows up, rather than pushing away, sometimes you want to say, ah, why is it showing up now?
Mm.
Compassionate curiosity. And saying that, and he asks, okay, Penelope procrastinator, you're showing up now. And I really am committed to doing differently. And then take a moment, just be quiet and see what the message is to do that. And some people, if you're overthinkers like me, you might say, nothing, didn't tell me anything. Here's a phrase, it's what we call a writer downer to really, because your conscious mind will not get you the answer. It's your unconscious mind what's hidden that will show up. And you can say, well, even though I don't know why I'm procrastinating, if I were to know, it would be.
That's an interesting way to reframe it and try and give yourself that little confidence boost that, yeah, the answers are here. I may not have them in plain sight, but the answers are here. And I like how you're describing it. Like I like to say, emotions are messengers. If you don't listen to your emotion messengers when they first show up, they're just going to go underground, lift weights, get stronger, and change shape so that they're harder to identify and harder to connect to the issue that caused them in the first place. It's
Right.
best to deal
Yeah.
with them right then in the moment when you know why they're there and what shape they are.
Yeah, name it. Name the emotion. Don't push it away. Some of us, the positive thinkers say, okay, don't think about it, think everything positive. But how can you do that if you are in a place where you're feeling angry, you're feeling frustrated, or even depressed? Depressed is one of the lowest. From that place is tough. And so it's better to name it. And then I have a simple thing to say, okay, to say, okay, I'm feeling da da da. Let's say I'm feeling depressed because I was in a place of depression. All right. Let me ask you, what is your commitment to staying depressed? Ask yourself that. 0 to 10. 10 is very committed. You better not be that. If you are, that means you're not ready yet. So it's better than to go with if it's I would hopefully the numbers are smaller than 10. If it's 6 or under, that means okay, you're at least a little bit committed to it. And then what you do is that you got to release yourself though from that. And that's a little thing I say that I always work from the place of understanding the mind, the soul, and the energetics. And this is clearing that yucky, sticky energy from you, within you, and in your environment. This is by Dr. Bradley Nelson. He does this. Think of your hand, it's a magnet, it's very magnetic. You could use it from here, or I want to explain it, and you just do this. You can use phrase, I'm open to releasing my depression if you're depressed. I'm open to releasing my anger or whatever, or I allow myself to. The best is I easily let go. But if you're not, that's okay. Wherever you are, use one of those phrases. It's just, shaking loose, right? And you would just put it here and say that I allow myself to release my frustration. Do it 10 times, but if other words come out, go with it. I allow myself to release my anger. I allow myself to release my fear of failure. I allow myself to release whatever. Do that 10 times. Take a breath. Feel, I bet you can feel a shift. Can you even sense a shift when you even I say that? Yeah. So you got to release that. Once you release that, then don't leave it there because now you clean it out in the vacuum. You better put something you want in there. Otherwise, who knows what else can go in there, right? Then what do you choose to want? You could put your hand in your heart and just close your eyes open and just say, ah, now I release my frustration over the situation. I choose to be kind to myself. I choose to forgive myself. I choose to make a call with Stephanie because she can help me figure out get clarity about my first step. Do you see that?
Yeah. And
Mm,
that brings me to a related point that I wanted to bring up is how I think sometimes we need to recognize that the thing that we're doing, even if it's objectively bad for us, it is still serving some need. It's filling some desire. Like I'll use myself as an example. Part of the reason my tongue was tripping earlier is I have a bad habit of staying up too late, and it's objectively not good for me, but it also fills that need and desire to have more leisure time. So I invite you to kind of use that example here for those of you who are listening. If you've got a bad habit like procrastination or eating too much dessert or staying up too late or whatever, ask yourself what kind of need that's filling and what kind of desire that's filling, and if there's a better way to fill it than procrastination or staying up too late or whatever.
yeah, you brought it to the sense of what is the cost of it and what is the rewards of it.
Yeah, and I think that
You know what I'm
helps people
saying?
to be more self-forgiving when it's not just you being a dumbass and doing something self-destructive. There's a good reason why you're doing this. There's a need that it's filling. So you're not just being a fool, you're meeting one of your needs. It's just that you're meeting it in an unhealthy way. So in a
Correct.
case where it's still where something's meeting their need in an unhealthy way, do you have any specific exercises you can use to help them to identify what need it's filling and how they can better fill that need in a way that's more supportive to their well-being?
Yeah, it's interesting. I was procrastinating on creating a course. And I was saying, wow, what is the benefit of procrastinating for not doing it? And I really went into self-reflection, and it's because I wasn't very, I was going through the understanding a new way of actually doing my coaching business. And so I needed that extra time to reflect on how I wanted to do it. See, at one time I was very into the how-tos. And then I learned that business success, the how-tos part, how to do the course, how to do my coaching is 20% of success. The 80% is psychology piece. And so I and because I've learned how important the psychology piece is, and actually am now also a healer, you know, I say, and also a mindset catalyst, I had to revamp my whole coaching to take care of not just the how-tos, however, also the internal piece. Because I find a lot of my clients, I give them, go do this, go do that. They won't take any action. Have you had that for yourself?
Yeah, I've had a few people, like, usually the people who said they had to think about it or wanted to do some of it on their own before working with me. Months later, they're still doing the same old thing, still overthinking, still struggling to get it done, or having let it fall by the wayside. So, yeah, without that structure, that guidance, that accountability, it is really easy to just keep on procrastinating.
Yeah, yeah. And if it's just purely the need someone to push you, that's good. However, if it's because of the underlying line piece, then we got to look at that. And so that's why I felt that for me to be the best um, catalyst and coach for my clients is to be able to provide them both. Because we'll start with, okay, what's the action you're going to take now? And then 2 weeks later, one person, client, haven't written an email. I say, what's stopping you? And then we have a conversation. And I finally ask, what is that email that you're going to write about? Oh, it's about me announcing myself to to my people of what I do. And there's it. I'm like, ding, ding, ding.
Mm,
Okay.
big,
All
scary
right.
step, big
That could be
commitment.
an internal part got to take care of, right? So we look into that. And what I'm great at is that I'm able to look and find the root cause of that issue. And for her, it tracked down to 3 times in her life growing up, and also ancestrally, cases of where she was told you're not good enough. She was also raped that she forgot about. because it's so
Wow.
traumatic. So we can take, instead of years of, sorry about this, of therapy, we can there's a way of coaxing the subconscious mind that is prime directive to take good care of you, to say that it's okay for this information experience to be revealed and become conscious, because the person is now willing to want to heal it and move from this to a healthier way of being, to doing what they want to do. It's a process. So all I'm saying is that if you are stuck in that, I would invite you to speak with a professional, myself, others, doesn't matter. The most important is just have a conversation, because if you have a big why, if you have a big mission, you have something meaningful you want to do and you're not doing it, and time goes by. And for me, my 10 years cost me a lot. And suddenly I'm at an
Mm.
age where if I don't do it now, it's never going to happen. And that's the tragedy for me. And but I'm here, so it can happen. And so, yeah.
Yeah, and now you're here to help other people do it faster and more easily than you did.
Right, right. Yeah. So we talk about the benefits. For me, I had to take some time to reflect what I needed to. And once I get clarity, then I'm back in motion, you know. And but if procrastination is to be invisible, then the cost of it was I've lost, I mean, we're not talking 1,000, we're talking about maybe $500,000 I left on the
Ooh,
table because of my 10 years of procrastination.
ouch.
Yeah. And with the impact on my family, on my relationship with my husband, then they were married, the burden for them. Yeah. A lot of forgiveness work. However, um, I'm glad, yeah. So the big question is that when you're procrastinating, you want to get out of it, you got to ask this question. How committed are you to your big why? 0 to 10. If it's 7 or more, you're ready to, you're serious, you know.
It's a good way to measure. So we're pretty much out of time, so I just want to give one last invitation to everyone watching this. Chew-Hoong mentioned her gift to the 32 captivating video and caption hooks to stop the scroll and grab attention fast. Yeah, if you've been procrastinating on creating your content and you've been staring at a blank screen, wondering what video or caption hooks would grab people's attention instantly so they stop procrastinating on getting in touch with you, yeah, that can be one of the biggest time sucks for business owners. So she's created these viral hooks to use personal experiences, transformations, and controversies and opinions to really get people's attention right away so that they stop scrolling, don't scroll past you, and actually look at your stuff. Because according to Chew-Hoong, recent data shows that the average attention span when scrolling through emails is around 8 to 10 seconds. On social media, it's even worse, as low as 2 seconds. So you got like 2 seconds to get people's attention. So that's why hooks are so essential for capturing your audience's attention and inspiring them to invest their time in getting to know, like you, and trust you and connect with you on a deeper level. So depending on where you're watching this, it might be in the YouTube description or in the blog post or on the social media post. Depending on where you're watching this, I will have the link in the text that accompanies this interview. So thank you everyone for tuning in, and thank you very much, Chew-Hoong, for joining me in this.
Thank you. It's been delightful. And here's the thing, guys, when you have Stephanie help you do your course and you're ready to launch it, this video hooks and captions will support you. So it's a nice win-win for everybody.
Absolutely. Well, thank you everyone for joining us today. I hope you have an amazing day.